Hello, everyone. My name is Monica Edwards, and this is my Media Industries research project about labor practices in the music industry. To understand labor practices in the media industry, I've divided my research into 4 categories. The first category is about music artist complaints. Here, I will discuss the pattern of music artists complaining about the music industry. These complaints made me question the labor practices that put these artists through tough situations. I'll use recent statements from Doja Cat to showcase this pattern that I've noticed. The next category is all about looking at the inner workings of the music industry. This research focuses on the work environments that emerge from recording, touring, and brand building, all things that are elements that affect the music artist from a music industry standpoint. Contracts emerge as a tool for recording companies to have more agency over their recording artists. For the third category, I'll use One Direction as my subject to study the work environments. From articles to primary source interviews, there were many controversies that arose after the band split. These experiences that were specific to One Direction can be looked at from a broader point of view in order to study what experiences music artists in general could face while working in the media industry. Lastly, I'll recognize the bigger implications that arise from this research. The evidence compiled with this research outlines a system of abuse that is present in the music industry. From the common practices instilled into the music industry, we see its effect on the music artists that reside in the industry. We understand their agency and their place within the industry just a little bit better. In the past few years, there has been an incline in music artists deciding to quit making music. Retiring a music career is not an unnatural thing for artists to do. Many artists leave to pursue other ventures. Take Rihanna, for example. She stopped music to focus on branching out into the fashion and makeup industries. These complaints, as we'll see from pop star Doja Cat, address the extra things that come along with a music career that makes the job less enjoyable. During an Instagram live stream in November 2021, just months before making this drastic tweet where Miss Cat quits her music career, Miss Cat relays the pressures by the industry to constantly participate in extra tasks such as photo shoots. The sentiments tell us that there is more to being a recording artist than just recording. The insights from these charged quotes, combined with the knowledge that she quit her music career only 4 months after these statements, shows the depth of the issue of overworking artists in the music industry. Now let's get into the music industry. Record deals are a must-have for recording artists, especially if they're just starting out in the industry. Record deals are offered to artists from record labels, and they cover most aspects of the artist, dealing with creating music, distribution, touring, and other brand-building ventures like advertising. The specifics of record deals vary from artist to artist. There are different contracts that artists can agree to, but the type of contract and the amount of negotiation that an artist will have depends on the artist's previous reputation with music. If they're a nobody, they won't be able to get a contract where all is done on their terms. Contracts carry out the terms that the artist is abiding by, and they come with a price tag attached. But contracts can include multiple projects and expectations. For example, a $10 million contract for a 3-project deal. Some types of contracts include traditional contracts, indie contracts, and the 360 deal, which is very important. The 360 deal is a contract that is typically offered to artists who are just starting out. It is a very binding contract. This contract represents a business relationship between the artist and the music industry. In the 360 deal's case, the artist is under complete control by the record label, hence the name. The record label is putting more money into promotion than they would need to with a well-known musician. We can see this is a very controlling model, and it is put in place so that the record label can reap all the benefits that it can from signing on an artist. The record company has their dough tipped in just about all revenue streams that a recording artist could expect. This limits the artist's agency because they'll constantly need approval from the record company. As you can see, these are a lot of categories and the artists would need to be involved in the building of each one. So while yes, they're recording songs, they might also be doing plenty of photo shoots, appearances, concerts, and more, which can be a lot, especially for someone who has not experienced the pop star life before. Also, keep in mind that these contracts can take years to fulfill if there is more than one album in the contract. This means that an artist can end up overexerting themselves for years at a time. Another large element that affects the work environment of artists is touring. Artists tour soon after the release of an album. A Rolling Stone article goes over the toxic work culture that has developed around touring. Artists are often left overworked with the gruesome schedule facing physical and mental tolls. Touring environments are so unhealthy that organizations such as the Roadie Clinic, Touring Professionals Alliance, and Tour Health Research Initiative have emerged to keep workers safe while on tour. These organizations are advocacy groups designed specifically for music crew workers. This regulation of the touring experience is recent, having developed during COVID times. Therefore, artists who had their touring peak before COVID, such as One Direction, would not have had a regulated work environment, meaning the record labels could overwork the bands to their heart's content. Now let's look at how One Direction was overworked through the aspects of the music industry that we just went over. For starters, the album recording schedule that One Direction was on was fast-paced and non-stop. There are overlaps of them recording the entire album while they are already on tour. This relates to the non-stop mentality that One Direction spoke about in interviews. In an interview on The Jonathan Ross Show, Liam Payne recalls going to award shows, winning awards, and then being on the next flight before the after party. This recollection highlights the non-stop work culture that One Direction was subjected to. They work non-stop for an award and don't even get a moment to relax when they have reached a major music industry goal. Jonathan Ross asks Liam who helped him out mentally during these times, and the only person that Liam had to confide in was Louis Tomlinson, another member of One Direction. Liam and Louis did not have the best relationship with each other, so hearing this surprised me. In a world where they are young and overworked, the only mental outlet they have is each other. There was not even a psychiatrist available for the boys to talk to, which shows how the management, Psycho Entertainment, did not care about the mental health of the boys. In another interview, the pressure on the band from the industry is clear when he states that their management would sell out stadium tours before the album was even recorded. Zayn Malik, another member, developed an eating disorder because of how much control the record labels had over their lives. Malik says that he felt food was the only aspect of his life that he could control. From looking at the evidence provided, we can conclude that there is a toxic work culture surrounding the music industry. Record labels being able to impose extended control over recording artists puts artists in a powerless place. This opens the artists up to abusive work environments, and unhealthy coping mechanisms emerge as a consequence. There has been recent work within the music industry to combat these work environments because they have become a serious problem affecting the health and well-being of the music artists. We cannot assume that One Direction's experience are individualized because of the way they entered the music industry. They were funneled through one of the most popular highways to fame, X Factor. Therefore, we can conclude that many artists who are born of the same method face the same struggles that One Direction did. Here is the credit for my slides design. Thank you for listening.